realities. Michael rejected the kingdom when she scorned joy. But the barren woman's feeling of joyful anticipation was evidence of her faith. And that faith brought forth fruitfulness that reverberated throughout the nations. The people who choose joy before their circumstances change become the ones who change their circumstances. I've been with Georgian and Winnie in many countries around the world. They continually amaze me with their lifestyle of joy. I think of him as the apostle of joy. Once we were deep in the city of Jerusalem, far from the crowd of tourists, because the Banovs wanted to take several of us for an evening meal at a neighborhood-type restaurant where only the locals go. And of course, Georgian brought his violin, which was his custom for many of our outings. He got up in the restaurant and began to play his joyful music. A party broke out, including the chefs and other paid staff, who began to beat on the pots and pans as though they were drums. People laughed and danced about. It was extraordinary. I don't know of anyone else who would have done that. And I certainly don't know of anyone else who would have considered that normal. Georgian and Winnie did. Amazing, wonderful, and liberating. It was also a little bit embarrassingly fun. But I obviously needed that. Georgian is intentional about joy. He understands the value it holds in the kingdom of God. As the scriptures say, it was for the joy set before him that Jesus endured the cross. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. To witness Georgian's playfulness, his freedom and his delight in the Lord, and interpret it as frivolity or even just a personality trait, would be an error. Joy to the Lord is anything but frivolous. C.S. Lewis said, "Joy is the serious business of heaven." And, as you will read, the joy that Georgian carries is something for which he has fought. He knows, in an intimate and experiential way, the surpassing power of joy. I encourage people everywhere to read this profound and very timely message. It's more than just a wonderful book, although it is that. Georgian and Winnie have taken ground so that we, as the church, might benefit. Their breakthrough is our inheritance, and that inheritance is joy. Read their testimonies and stories so that you may receive one of the greatest gifts Jesus ever gave us, his joy. Bill Johnson, Bethel Church, Redding, California. Author, Born for Significance, The Way of Life, Raising Giant Killers, The Mind of God, and more. 1. Jesus Encounter. I was born and raised in Bulgaria, under the stranglehold of communism. The Communist Party used fear and mind control to dominate us, and my own sense of personal identity was elusive. Emotionally, I felt dead inside. While the party elite had special privileges, the rest of us existed on rations. Meat and fresh vegetables were seldom seen in our stores. We were given just enough to keep the cogs in their machine turning. Espresso coffee to wake us in the morning, bread to fill our bellies at daytime, and cheap vodka to numb us down at night. I had fully resolved to escape, even if it meant I would die trying. Knowing that the Bulgarian KGB would eventually interrogate every one of my relatives and friends, I could not breathe a word about the escape to anyone. If they were to learn about my plans and not try to stop me or report me to the police, their lives would be made miserable. Those who resisted the communists ended up in labor camps or, at the very least, faced serious civil restrictions and punishments. My application for a travel visa had been submitted, and I was waiting for my paperwork to arrive. I was scheduled to play a gig with a band in one of the nightclubs in East Berlin, the communist portion of Germany. From there I would have some mobility and could venture my escape through the Iron Curtain.